Gladiator. Grant heirs. 30 stories. All rights reserved. Copyright. Summary. Toby, a boy that is overweight and powerless in a world full of powerful humans that get their power from a god, like being portrayed as a chef. What they eat is what power they get, and he is the first one to eat the table. Genre: action, drama. Author: Grant heirs. Status: complete. Chapters: 54. Rating: 4.68 reviews. Age rating: 18+. Chapter 1: Toby the Terrible. My name is Toby, and tomorrow is going to be my 16th birthday. And something special is going to happen tomorrow that will change my life forever. See, one day this chef appeared and prepared a 5-course meal, but told those who attended that they could only eat one thing. But after they returned home, they developed powers that none of the world knew what to do about. So, skipping the boring history lesson, let me shorten it down. When us humans turn 16, we get teleported to this white room called the dining room, and we finally get superpowers if we choose to eat. Those who choose not to eat anything and those who eat more than one item die by becoming part of the cannibal selection of the whole selection of meals. Of course, cannibalism is outlawed and everything, but I heard that you become super strong or something like that. But right now I stand up in front of my 6-foot mirror and was a little sad. I am a pale, white and fat loser. I was wearing an orange shirt that barely covered my stomach, and let's not mention the tight shorts that were suffocating my legs. My mom and dad are both beautiful, as they both ate roasted rose petals. But me, on the other hand, I looked like I was birthed from a fat cow, and my father being Quasimodo. My disgusting red hair and disfigured face and hunch-like back told me that must be the case. I turned around away from my disgusting image and saw my room. My bed was made and nicely folded, but clothes that couldn't fit me anymore were scattered around like decoration. My mom and dad are both models, so they make a lot of money but make me work for every dime that I get. I clean the house, not including my room, but I still walk myself around the house so that I can somehow cure my fatness. They pay me around $40 to $50 for all of my work so that I can buy new clothes. It's okay, but that means that I never get to save up for a PC. The morning sun comes up and my bus is just an hour away, so I go over to my garbage heap of a closet and put on my tight school uniform. I walked over to my bathroom that is just down the long hall and to the right. I brush my somewhat decent white and straight teeth and then comb my red curly hair to where it looks like a quiff. To be fair, my hair combed like this is the only thing from me being the ugliest person on this planet. After getting ready, I make my way downstairs, and my mom and dad are not there, and instead our maid just got done making me breakfast. She ate a hot dog which gave her fire abilities and the smoothest skin that I could know of. Even as she hands me the brown paper bag, she looks not like a maid at all, but instead an amazing model with her smooth brown skin and charcoal black hair. The only downside is that her teeth are gapped and her English is more of a slur than anything. As I am about to head out the door, she shouts, "H of a good team." Without turning my disgusting face around to say the same thing back, I just kept my head down and walked out the front door. Outside was bland as day. Seeing the same old hover bus made out of stupid titanium just pass on by just to stop a few feet from where I am standing. I walked over towards the bus's doors and they slide open for me as I walked in. My tub of lard for a belly is almost too big to get through the sliding glass door. As I sit in the front of the bus, I hear the kids snick and boast about what they are going to eat. I hear a lot of the boys saying that they are all going to have steak, and the women say that they are going to have all these different vegetables. Which I guess would be cool, but steak would only make a person 20 times stronger, and depending on how it is cooked, it can mean that they are as tough as leather or can manipulate the temperature of the blood in their body. Now, a salad might be good, but all it would do is make you able to control your weight. I thought about just eating a salad when I turned 16, but it would be a waste of potential. Especially since so many food items have yet to be explored. For instance, a company can select a handful of students and give them a huge amount of money just to eat what they want you to. But again, I just want to eat something called ants egg soup. But again, I think that I will eat whatever is in front of me first. Just so that I can get it over with and maybe enroll in becoming top chef. Back in the early days of mankind, I think they would have called it top superhero or whatever. I don't really care all that much for history, but yeah. The top chef is a title granted to that of the most powerful person in the world. He is feared by the people, loved by the people, and most importantly, he is not fat like me. So I might just eat a salad. When I arrived at the school, there were already a few kids that received their new powers today. They seem to be happy, and a lot of them have changed drastically. Like Rebecca, who was just on the ugly scale along with me, now looks like a movie star, and her voice now is like silk. Actually, what made me blush is that once entering through the metal doors of the school, she ran up to me and in a cheerful tone says, "Look at me, Toby. I'm cute now." I turned my back to her, trying to hide my high prints and my blushing. I just waved my hand at her and calmly and nervously state, "Rebecca, you're now popular. Just hang out with those kids and let me be. I'm afraid that you're going to be dragged down back to my level if you keep talking to me." She grabbed my shoulder and spun me around to face her. I put my hand over my pride as she looks at me with her serious face. Me, on the other hand, I must look like a fool talking to a girl like her. Just yesterday she was as fat as I, and her voice was extremely annoying. Whenever she did something like this, I would just shrug my shoulder and keep walking. But now her hair is straight and black, skin so smooth that not even sandpaper can grind against it, and her body has luscious curves, and her waist was like an hourglass. She stares at me and calmly but sternly says, "Toby, you're my friend, so that means you are straight with me. Since you knew me before, you won't be the one to kiss my butt." She gives a slight giggle before turning around. I see her butt, and the first thought that rushed through my mind and made me blush is that maybe I wouldn't mind kissing her butt. I giggle to myself as I put my hand over my face to hide my embarrassed blush. The other kids are staring at me now, and my smile fades. I turn around and head for the lockers. When I got to my boring lame blue locker, I noticed that someone spelled fatpig all over my locker. Funny, but still I think that his or her handwriting is trash. Like, come on, we learned how to read and write when we were in kindergarten, and yet their handwriting makes the P's look like D's. It's just sad when you see it. I open up my locker, and then a hand pops out and a cherry pie is splattered in my face. I am ashamed of myself when I lick the pie off of my lips. Then within my locker, a muscular arm was inside my locker. I recognize the hand to be that of the head bully, Bob. Sounds like a name that should be mine. I turn to face down the hallway, and there he is. He is muscular and tall for his age. He is in my grade, being a sophomore in high school. He got held back a year, and that would make him around 17 now. Last year he ate what was called a portal jello shot. He served 3 months in UB for underage drinking, but now he has the power to make his limbs teleport a certain distance. The only weakness being his body and head not being able to teleport with him. Even what he wears says he likes to beat up kids. He wears only tight blue jeans and a brown leather jacket. He walks up to me, and his left hand is just a stub as he puts it to my flab of a chest. He smiles as he menacingly says, "I see you like the pie I bought. How about you eat it all up just so that you don't waste me money?" I looked at him and tears began to build up in my eyes, making his face look a lot like a blur. "Oh, so you're a big fat baby now, huh? Well, how about I show you how powerful I really am, you punk." I wiped the pie jam and tears from my face to see his face smiling. In an instant his hand comes rocketing out of his stump, striking me in the chest. That punch denies physics itself, being that no one knows and has calculated how fast his limbs travel from where he puts it and how fast it reappears. But I for one can tell you that my fat saved me a lot of the trouble, and only a couple of my ribs were broken as I flew through the hallway. Bob walks up to me and says, "Man, I really hope you eat something good tomorrow, piggy. Or else I might just have fun using you as a playpen." Bob snaps his fingers and his right-hand man George shows up. He has the same birthday as mine. But I'm lucky enough for him to be the only one to share a birthday with me, since George is a silent but dangerous kid. I heard that even without any help from powers he was able to slow down Bob and some of the seniors. Just the thought of someone that strong made my very hair stand up. George looks like a normal teenager with his baggy black clothes and his golden chains and watches, but his face was beautiful. I couldn't see if he was ripped or not, but from the stories I guess that there is just pure muscle under all the clothing. George looks at Bob and asks, "What do you want, boss?" Bob snapped his fingers before pointing at me as he states, "I want you to be there and make this kid eat the damn table." Researchers say that it is a 99.9% chance that is the only way that a person doesn't get powers. But to be fair, WHO would be the idiot. WHO ate the table. I bursted out crying out loud as I plead, "Please don't do this. I'll do anything you want." Bob grabs my head and says, Then eat the table, you fat son of a. George speaks up. Bob, I will make sure this pig eats the table. Just let him get to class before we get reported. Bob chuckles before letting me drop to the floor. I fell on my butt as he was walking away. Before I could get up and walk towards the shower room, Bob turned his head and stared at me as he says, "Count your lucky stars, piggy." He then turned back around and walked off. I got up and cried my way down to the shower room. As I get done washing off the pie, I get dressed and saw that I missed my first hour class. But I don't really care. Maybe George won't make me eat the table. And who knows, no one has eaten the actual tables, knives, spoons, nor napkins before. Because each have either ended up choking or dying right afterwards. Because even if we do get powers before we are just normal human beings. We are not meant to eat such things, so that means our bodies reject such materials to digest. So it only makes sense that it is the only thing that you can eat that would leave you normal. I just shake my head clear of those thoughts and head to class. Because tomorrow's my birthday, our homeroom teacher will tell us what we could eat to make a difference in our lives. I always find homerooms funny because instead of eating healthy stuff, they promote stuff like sweets and desserts. Because now in the year 4075 we pretty much know that healthy items of food are great, but all they do is make you look better or control over nature. But hey, I'm not the one to judge. I'm fat and I like eating healthy and working out, so I would be more than likely to eat something healthy. It's just sweets like chocolate can make someone super powerful. Kinda like the top chef Telisa. She ate a dessert called a serendipity, which is just a fancy ice cream. But it allowed her the ability to freeze time and make golden ice from her body. I don't recall anyone finding a weakness of her yet. But hey, maybe we'll get there someday and figure out who is going to be the next top chef without her dying of old age, if that is even possible. As I step inside of the classroom and I notice off the bat Rebecca staring at me and waving at me to take my seat. My jerk of a teacher, Mr. Kingsley, watches me sit down as he pauses to make sure I'm not interrupting his class. He's young for a teacher, seeing that he ate Asian fish cakes and became a pure genius. Too bad because of that dish he also lost a lot of his emotional value and is really blunt and monotone. He scolds me. "Toby, stop wasting time outside of class snacking. Your birthday is tomorrow and you need to save your appetite. Please pay attention." I nod my head yes, and he continues to talk to the class. Before I was interrupted by Toby wobbling in, I was just on the topic of why it is important that you think of profit and not power. Yes, the top chef is a powerful title, but to be honest, none of you in this class will ever be that. But I think at least 45% of this class of 100 students can become rich. So the foods you should eat are coconuts, chocolate donuts, and a rare steak. Each of those are a massive product already, being that you could be successful the following careers: construction, farming, and entertainment. But I know that Toby here will probably scarf down the first thing he sees. Now if you pick gummy cake like Rebecca next to him, then you have a bright future. Because her powers allow her to not only control her shape, but as an extra bonus she can also take lumps of her hair and make different materials from it. Of course this means that she would be bald for around 2 months for only an inch of hair. To be fair, I would have done it if that is where my passion lies, but her ability now guarantees that she will make an easy profit. Especially if she sold miniature nukes to our top chef who rules over the world. He then from below his desk pulls out pictures of human limbs and hearts on silver plates. The class in unison gags at the sight, but Mr. Kingsling continues, "Now we all know cannibalism is illegal and can warrant the death penalty upon returning home. But I think that since this class is at AE average, I think that there is no problem with covering basics." Isaac Flonder was a kid who ate a human liver and came back, and with the power to separate the human anatomy into 3 different parts: bones, muscle, and skin. He was so hard to fight that the top chef at the time, Eric Scottsina, had to intervene and kill him. Then there was Roger Magutin, who ate someone's arm, and when returning home he kept his power a secret for 2 years before showing the entire world that he had the ability to create arms on another human being and manipulate the person that the arms sprouted from. He killed around 10,000 people before he was terminated by our current top chef. The overall point is that by eating other humans, not only will you be discovered eventually, but you will die. Period. There is nothing that will come out of it except the comfort of death. No one can stop you from eating it, so just know, backquote. Mr. Kingsling went on about what we should eat and then what illegal things that cannot be eaten. And what punishments will be delivered if we break any laws? The bell rings and the lecture is over. As I and Rebecca leave the classroom, she cheerfully says, "Wow, all the talk and all it did was send shivers down my spine." She squished her cheeks together in a cute sense and I could feel me blushing. I nervously say, "So why gummy cake or something like that?" I turn away and place my hands on the back of my head all chill like. She says, "Got tired of people calling me fat and ugly." Suddenly I was snapped back into reality and realized that Rebecca was that annoying girl that was almost just like me in every other way. I turn around and look at her as she smiles at me with her eyes closed. I calmly say, "Oh, I forget. Want to go to class now?" I then punched her arm playfully like I used to, but her whole body jiggled and made me laugh. She blushed before punching me back in the shoulder. We chuckled down the hallway.
That was chapter 1, The Gourmet Gladiator. You can check it out on Inkit. Hello, I'm Grant Ayers. I am the author of this piece of work. And soon, chapter 2, 3, and 4 will all be here on YouTube. Have a good day.